Hi guys, and welcome back. If you are new to my channel, my name is Lauren and I have a clothing line called Lauren Michelle. Usually I record videos about my tips and tricks and just some of my experiences related to fashion. Right now though, we're actually moving, and because we're moving, we renovated this Class C RV, so we're gonna have a couple adventures. I have actually been recording some of the projects that we've been doing in order to kind of get the RV ready for adventure time before we hit the road. The thing that I'm going to do today, project day, is we're going to make some window insulation covers. We have all these big windows in here, and while they provide a great view, they're really just big holes that let all of our heat out. So our options are really to run the furnace all the time, which uses propane, which you don't really want to break camp and have to go get propane all the time because you kept the furnace running nonstop. Or if it's really hot out, then we have to really work the AC unit all the time. And my hypothesis is that if we insulate this place just a little bit better, then that will help, and my poor furnace and my AC won't have to work so hard to keep up. And I've seen a lot of videos where people, they take all the pillows on their bed and they put them up against the window at night to stay warm. And I just figured this feels like a problem that we can sew our way out of, right? But you might have noticed behind me I have this Reflectix, and everybody seems to really like it. And I've seen where people, they just measure their window and they cut it out, and then they just stick the Reflectix directly into the groove around the window. Well, that's not going to work for us. Our windows don't have that kind of groove, so that's not really going to work. And the other thing too is I feel like it looks a little like Breaking Bad to me. I just don't like the look of walking around on the outside and it basically looks like bubble wrap foil in the window. I mean, to each their own. You like it, I love it. It's just not for me. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So I have the Reflectix, as you can see, and then I also have these corrugated board in order to allow a little air to pass in between the layers of the insulation. That just helps it work a little bit better. And then we're going to take that whole thing and I'm basically going to sew it into a little pouch of this quilted fabric that I'm going to show you in a second. And then we're just going to put a little Velcro around the edges and we're going to just secure it to the window. So I'm just going to show you guys one window today. I'm not going to time lapse every single window in here, and you're doing it along with me, so I want to make sure it works first before I cut out all my materials. So that's what I would advise you to do, is to take it one window at a time. This is not the time for us to batch everything together. It's not like the NetGator video or anything like that. So do one window at a time, and that way if you mess something up, you didn't waste any materials. Hopefully you can see me do this. I'm gonna take a measuring tape and I'm gonna just measure it like it's a square, even though the corners of this are actually rounded, you can see. One thing I have to account for too, and why I have to do these kind of a special way, is because you can see that this is an exit window. So when I measure, I'm gonna measure over these handles in order to give it enough room so that I can actually attach the Velcro down at the bottom and not have any like light leaks around it. The first measurement I took was from the very edge right here all the way down through to the very edge of the black part down here. I'm gonna measure the board in between and the Reflectix to probably about one of these points, because I don't want it to be too thick so that the Velcro doesn't stick at the bottom. Okay, so this is the fabric that I actually got at Joann's. You can see that it is like pre-quilted polyester fabric. The blue is on both sides. So I put this tape measure here so you can see how wide it is. So let's say that it's about 46 wide when we open it up, and we're gonna have to when we get to a big window like the one over the dinette. The other thing that I got too is I got these strips of Velcro. This is how I'm gonna affix these insulated pieces to the black area around the window. Okay, so also got some duct tape, and that's how we're gonna get the corrugated board and the Reflectix sandwiched together before we sew it into this fabric. So I also got some of the same in white, and what I'm gonna do with that, I'll show you guys what that came out to later. but you see that I have these in the ceiling. These also let out a lot of heat and cool air, so I have to make special ones where I'm going to end up velcroing it at the corners around here, because again, I can't use the ones that just stick up there because I have this handle here, and that would just push everything out and there would not be enough tension in order to keep it in place. Hi there, me again. Real quick, I want to let you guys know, just a quick reminder, the window that I measured was 22 and an eighth by 37. Since we're going to be sewing, you do have to add seam allowance. I typically like to add about 3/8, especially because we're going to be running it through the machine. So 22 and an eighth, you're going to want 22 and a half, because math. So make sure you add a seam allowance so that you actually have enough room to put your pieces together. Just on the fabric, you don't need the seam allowance on the middle portion because we're not running that through a sewing machine. Okay, so now I'm just going to measure. I'm going to draw it out. I'm not using tailor's chalk. This is one of my favorite little things to do, is just take, when you have a piece of like bar soap or hand soap that is down towards the end, you can get a really nice sharp edge, and it is the perfect tailor's chalk. We know it's going to wash out, so pro tip. So make sure that you actually cut 2 of these, because we need 2 sides in order to sandwich the insulation in. I take a piece of paper and I'm gonna just put it over here, and I'm gonna take a pencil, and this is really like probably the easiest way to do it. It's not gonna look flawless because I'm trying to also record. Boom. Boom. Now we know the exact curvature of this corner. Take this, trace out your corner. Okay, so I have 2 pieces of this quilted fabric cut out. I have 2 pieces of the Reflectix, and then I have this 1 piece of corrugated board. I'm going to sandwich the corrugated board in between the 2 pieces of the Reflectix. So the board is a little shorter than the Reflectix, which is actually helpful for me because I need the corner to bend a little bit so that I can actually get it into the window. Really, these few pieces that I'm putting here is just to keep it from sliding around. Okay, so now we have the 2 pieces of the Reflectix that are duct taped to cover the corrugated plastic board. So this is the perfect insert for our little window insulation. So now we're gonna go ahead and whip out the serger. Really quick, this is what the inside looks like. I just wanted to check and make sure that this fits. So you see how this is a little short, so it fits perfectly in here. And the fabric is actually going to Velcro onto this black part. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to serge the edges of this individually so that I can make a little pocket to slip the insulation insert into. It's time to make our little pouch right now. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to sew around the sides and the bottom, and I'm just gonna leave the top completely open so that I can get the insert in easily. I just got this inside of its little pouch. I think it fits pretty good. So I'm just gonna sew some Velcro along the edges, and then I'm gonna put a little Velcro on the top here to make a closure for this. It's really important for me that I'm able to get this off and on. Well, it fits. It's a little snug in here, but I actually kind of like that because I don't want to have it be where it like slides around and then there's a bunch of like air coming through. So I feel like it's really covering all the parts where it gets cold. So the Velcro that I had on here, it was like the kind that has a sticky back, even though I still sewed it down. That was really just so that I can throw the cover in the washer. So all I'm gonna do now that I have it lined up is I have both parts of the Velcro together. And if I can get it, there we go. I'm gonna peel the sticky back off and I'm gonna line it up right on the window. So perfect. There you go. So it's on the frame of the window. And I'm gonna go ahead and just do that all the way around. Easy peasy. There you go. We made our little window insulation sandwich here. I think it fit in there pretty good. It was really important to me to be able to take the insert in and out because stuff just gets really dusty in here, especially if you leave the door open. I find that even with the screen closed, we get a little dust in here. And I'm basically gonna repeat this process for all of the windows in here. And I'll let you know if I think it made a big difference. But I want to be able to take these off and just pop them right in the washer. Let me know in the comments down below, have you guys made anything similar to this, or what is your plan for insulating? Please let me know if you tried this project or if you plan to try it. I would actually really like to see how it turns out. I hope that you guys got some value out of this video and out of this project. I hope it helps you if you're in that stage right now where you're gearing up for the season and you're getting your RV ready and you're all excited. Please have a wonderful rest of your week. Please go forth, be kind, be creative.